Have you been missing getting to travel since COVID-19 hit US soil? Well, you may have to wait just a little bit longer. The first thing that everyone should not do when COVID restrictions are lifted is travel as much as they can. Before COVID hit US soil, everyone was living their lives to the fullest. Unknowingly, their lives were about to change drastically for a very long time. So first of all, what exactly is COVID-19? According to the Tri-County Health Department, it is a respiratory illness that can spread from person to person. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by the most recently discovered coronavirus. This new virus and disease were unknown before the outbreak began in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Also, AP News summed up just how dangerous this virus is when they said, Brazil this week became just the second country after the US to report a 24-hour tally of COVID-19 deaths that exceeded 4,000. India hit a peak of almost 127,000 new cases in 24 hours, and Iran set a new coronavirus infection record for the third straight day, reporting nearly 22,600 new cases. With all of that being said, we will never truly know when COVID is eliminated. So we should be wary about travel for various reasons. COVID-19 tests are not always completely accurate. I have known many people who have had every single symptom of COVID and they go to get tested and it comes back negative. There's no way it could have been the flu or anything like that. They had all the symptoms and the test comes back negative. Harvard Health Publishing says the reported rate of false negatives is 20%. However, the range of false negatives is from 0% to 30%, depending on the study and when in the course of infection the test is performed. But of course, that's not the only thing holding us back from travel. The vaccine is not 100% effective. And while I believe that having the vaccine is a positive thing, it's a step in the right direction, it is not necessarily going to completely solve the issue. I do believe that the people who participate in the vaccine are going to be slightly more protected than those who don't, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone who gets the vaccine is going to be protected completely. According to the Washington State Department of Health, once you are fully vaccinated, it is still possible to get COVID-19. The studies found that each of the vaccines had at least 85% efficacy in preventing severe COVID-19 illnesses. And while the vaccine may seem to help, it is not necessarily the answer to all of our problems. Some people will also just not be getting the COVID vaccine. And whether their reason is political or religious or whatever it may be, there will be some people who just refuse to get the vaccine. GoodRx says this is an issue because for COVID-19, experts estimate that between 70% and 90% of a community would need to be immunized against the virus to achieve herd immunity. Now, I understand that some people are going to disagree with me. And the one big argument that they will probably have is, hey, if these restrictions are lifted, then that means it's safe and there's really no reason to hold back. If we've learned anything over this last year and a half, it's that is not necessarily true. We have tried many times to lift lockdowns and lighten them, but we always ended up having cases rising or spiking again. BBC News says even countries with effective strategies to tackle the pandemic through testing, tracing, and lockdown management, such as South Korea, have seen spikes and clusters of cases. With that being said, COVID-19 is probably something that we're going to have to be wary about for a very long time, maybe the rest of our lives. The first thing that everyone should not do when COVID-19 restrictions are lifted is travel as much as they can. staying diligent on our social distancing, our masking, and just our overall cleanliness is going to be super, super important to keep COVID-19 at bay. And even when those restrictions begin to be lifted, we just need to stay in quarantine and stay safe as long as we can. So if you have been missing getting to travel and see the world and whatever else, you may just have to hold on a little bit longer until we know somehow that it is safe and that we aren't going to be spreading COVID-19 around to other people, especially if we're traveling outside of the US, outside of the country, and interacting with, lots of people, and then coming back here and exposing our family members and others to the virus. Hold on to your pants. You can do it. Thank you.